Guys, welcome back to Master Game Studios. I'm Craig, and we are back. Finally, it's been a while since I've recorded a video. It'll be a little while since you guys have seen a video that I have recorded. So appreciate you and your patience, all of you. I'm sick, had a lot of things going on. My voice is still not 100%, so it's kind of annoying, but it is good enough, and we are going to continue on. And we've got a great video to kick off this kickback into YouTube here. So we're going to try something different today, something I haven't done in a while, and that is I've got some of the best lists for Tyranids from Pariah Nexus so far. So I've got 8 lists, I think. 8 lists. All of these lists have either won a big tournament or they have come in a top 5-ish placing, only having 1 loss and won, 5 or 6 games on top of that. So good list. All of them from a different detachment, except Unending Swarm. Nothing from Unending Swarm. No one wants to play it. I don't blame them, but it is what it is. But if that sounds good, do like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our content here at Maelstrom Game Studios. I think I want to turn this into a monthly segment, so every month we'll recap the best list of the month. If that sounds good, let me know what you think in the comments. Try and come up with a name for this little series we'll do, because if you guys like it, I want to keep doing it. So yeah, and thank you, members, again, allowing us to keep doing what we're doing. And with that, let's get into these lists. So let's first start off with Vanguard Onslaught. I've got 2 Vanguard Onslaught lists for you guys. Both of them are a little different, so that's why we have 2 of them. First off, this is Spencer Baitner's list. He got first at Beat the Heat GT. It was a smaller GT, 25 players, but he went 5-0. He beat Space Wolves, Astra Militarum, Necrons, Astra Militarum again, and Orcs. So congrats to him on his 5-0 there. His list consisted of Death Leaper, a Winged Prime, 2 Broodlords, a Neuro Tyrant, and a Winged Hive Tyrant. In the battle line, he also has 10 Gargoyles, 10 Termagants, a Biovore, for the rest of it, a Biovore, 2x10 Gene Stealers, 2 Lictors, 2 Neurolictors, 6 Melee Warriors, and 6 Zoanthropes, as well as a Tyrannofex, and I'm pretty sure that one had a Rupture Cannon on it. So pretty standard in the list out for Vanguard Onslaught, outside of throwing a Tyrannofex in there, because why not? It's interesting. I guess you do want to have some anti-tank, but all in all, it's a solid list. I like the 2 groups of Gene Stealers, and I love the Melee Warriors. I know some people are not too keen on them, but I'm with him on this. I love Melee Warriors. So all in all, it seems like a pretty solid list, and there you go. Congratulations there. To mix it up a little bit with Vanguard Onslaught, we have another list. So this is Steve Trimble. He got 4th at the U.S. Tacoma Open. He went 8-0 out of 439 players. His opponents were Space Marines, Necrons, Blood Angels, Astra Militarum, a Vanguard Onslaught mirror match, and Dark Angels to finish it off. So quite a run there of different different armies he had to go up against. I will say Vanguard Onslaught does do really well into Marines, Necrons, and Guard. So, he got that sweet luck. And obviously I'm not taking anything away from him, but he dominated those lists, it looks like, seeing at his scores here. So the list, characters, Swarm Lord, so that's an interesting thing to see. He is a pretty good utility piece now. A Winged Tyranid Prime, 2 Broodlords, and a Neuro Tyrant. No battle line in this one, and then in the rest, you've got a Biovore, 2x10 Gene Stealers, 3 Lictors, 2 Molochs, a Trigon, Neurolictor, a unit of 6 Melee Warriors, and a unit of 6 Zoanthropes. So again, similar to the other list, the 2 units of Gene Stealers and Broodlords probably rush forward, while the Lictors take all the objectives, and the Melee Warriors kind of wait in the wings to help clean up on as a 2nd, 3rd wave type of force. Interesting to see, similar to the last list, if he brought his Neuro Tyrant and Zoanthropes, they started them on the table, or he brought them in via Strategic Reserve. I'd be interested to know. I'm going to guess Strategic Reserve, but you never know. And then I do like this one too, specifically. He's got both Molochs and a Trigon. You don't often see the Trigon making it into lists, but I Love the Trigon. So nice to see all of those guys in here doing well. And congratulations to you, Steve. You wiped out 8 opponents without too much hassle, if I remember seeing some of the scores when I was peeking around. So congrats to you, and that's a Vanguard Onslaught for a second list. Now we've got one Synaptic Nexus list. This is Rami Towel. Forgive me, I'm not great with names. He got 8th place at the TGX 40k event. 97 players, and he went 5-1. So he did have a loss in there, but still very powerful list with those results. We'll look at it. So he lost his first game to Orcs. I don't know what the Orc list was specifically. It'd be interesting to see, but he did lose that one. And then he beat Dark Angels, Vanguard Onslaught Tyranids, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, and Tau. So he had a little shootout with the Tau there and won that one. His list, pretty funky list. I do like it. A Hive Tyrant, a Neuro Tyrant, and a Swarm Lord. Love that combination there. In battle line, he did have a unit of 10 Termagants, probably just helping with secondaries and stuff, maybe screening for some opponents. In the rest, a Biovore, an Exocrine, a Neurolictor, a Norn Assimilator, Synaptic Nexus, Norn Assimilator. Someone catches my drift there that they're pet potential. A Norn Emissary, a Psychophage, a Ripper Swarm, a unit of 3 Tyrant Guard. I'm curious to who they went with. I'd lean towards Swarm Lord, but I don't know. And then a unit of 6 Zoanthropes. A very interesting list. I wish I could pick into his brain about how he did it. My gut says is that he strategic reserved the Norn Assimilator, and then comboed everything with the arriving from reserve, shooting something, getting a +3 to his charge, getting it into melee with some big targets. Maybe he just walked it up the board. I don't know. And then his Zoanthropes and Neurotyrant, again, I want to know, did he strategic reserve them or walk them up the board? I would lean towards strategic reserve again with this, but at the same time, I can see where it's useful to have these guys on the board. You've got the Hive Tyrant for the Assault and Lethal bubble already, so that gives them much more mobility, and the stratagems, you really want them to be on the table, doing their damage and giving out that synapse early on. So maybe in this list he walked them on the board, but if you're watching, congratulations again. I'm curious to see exactly what you did with that. All in all, fantastic job there. Next, we have an Invasion Fleet list. This was Kenneth, second at the Salt Lake Open GT. He went 6-1. I did not see how many players, and I didn't want to count them all up individually. So, presumably going second and 6-1. There's a decent amount of players at the event. His opponents were Chaos Knights. Good, you beat that. That's a tough matchup. Dark Eldar, Grey Knights, World Eaters, Chaos Space Marines, Necrons was his loss, and Eldar. So, pretty good there. This list is a bit bonkers. If you like Monster Mash, here you go. Got a Neuro Tyrant and Old One Eye. No Hive Tyrant Swarm Lord there, so interesting. The rest, he's got a Biovore, of course. A Carnifex to walk around with Old One Eye. 2 Exocrines, 2 Neurolictors, a Haruspex, a regular Lictor, 3 Maleceptors, triple Maleceptor. I don't even have enough Maleceptors to do that. I only have 2. 2 individual Pyrovores, and again, a unit of 6 Zoanthropes. That has been a common theme in all of these lists, is that unit of 6 Zoanthropes. I've tried them a couple of times. I don't really like them, but clearly people are making them work. Again, probably joining the Neuro Tyrant. I want to know if he strategic reserved him or put him on the table. I'm going to guess lean towards in this one strategic reserve, but you never know. I guess in Invasion Fleet, they do have a bit extra durability, having access to that strat for the Feeling of Pain. But at the same time, they're pretty potent against infantry in Invasion Fleet, because if you take sustain, those lances, every hit is 2. I don't know. But yeah, congrats to him on the list. Really bonkers list. A lot of meat on the table in terms of monsters. So it's probably just going full durability with a decent amount of killing power. Not an insane amount of killing power, but a decent amount of killing power. Probably just dominating primary in that case. And living up to that. So congrats on that game. And let's get into the next one, We have one of two Crusher Stampede lists. So this was Nathan Roberts. He went second at the Leeds Super Major. 6-1, 220 players. He played GSC, World Eaters, Orcs, Necrons, Space Marines, Sisters, and then again he played Sisters in the finals and lost. Close game if I remember seeing it right. Characters, Swarm Lord. Battle line, 10 Hormigons, 10 Gargoyles. The rest of it, Biovore, 2 Exocrine, Neurolictor, 2 Lictors, 2 Maleceptors, a Pyrovore, a Trigon, and 3 Rupture Cannon Tyrannofexes. Pretty wacky there. It's nice to see Rupture Cannons really absorbing their time in the sun because they have not been competitive since ever. Really, it's always been the Acid Sprays that been the more competitive pick until right now. Rupture Cannons are loving their limelight. It is interesting to see that the Neurolictors and the Biovore are pretty much in every single list. Now, I know I've said in the past that Neurolictors are very essential. I personally haven't been bringing them. Maybe I should, but I haven't been yet, mainly because I didn't have the points in my other stuff. But still, very powerful list. A lot of durability here. 2 Maleceptors and 3 Tyrannofexes is an insane amount of meat to chew through, let alone having the Exocrines barreling down, shooting at you, and all of your Lictor stuff to just do actions on the edges. So, very good list. A shame he did not pull off the win, but congrats to you at the 6-1 second place finish there. One more Crusher Stampede list. We have, this is Kiko, I think, with a smiley face. First at the 4th GT, happy birthday, Mr. Iberian. What a name for an event. 40 players, 5-0. He played Orcs, Sisters, Eldar, Dark Eldar, and Chaos Space Marines. In his characters, he has a Neuro Tyrant, a Hive Tyrant, and a Winged Tyranid Prime. He has 2 units of 10 Hormigons. He's got a Biovore, 3 Exocrines, 2 Lictors, a Trigon, 2 Tyrannofexes, 1 with the Rupture, 1 with the Acid Spray, a unit of 6 Zoanthropes, and a unit of 6 melee warriors. Interesting list. Really not playing too heavy into the monsters. I mean, he's got 3 Exocrines, he's got Trigon, and 2 Tyrannofexes, as well as a Hive Tyrant. But in a Crusher Stampede, I would not expect to see melee warriors at all. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see the Zoanthropes either. Curious to his thoughts there. My only guess is that the melee warriors provide a good, real blender unit in melee. Probably keeps them pretty reserved. And there's something that can move through buildings and have that kind of mobility to just get where they need to go. So, congrats to the list. It's a bit of a wacky out one there list, but you clearly knew what to do with it and came first place there. So again, congratulations. And now we'll get into Assimilation Swarm. This list, you guys might have seen it before. This is actually my list. It made the cut. There's 2 Assimilation Swarm lists. They're very identical. That did pretty well. So my list, I'll go through it quick because you guys have probably already seen it. I got 3rd place at the North Star Open. 5-1, 66 players. I lost my first game to Chaos Knights. And I beat Death Guard, Eldar, Necrons, Custodes, and Chaos Demons. My list has all of the Tyrants, a Neuro Tyrant, a Hive Tyrant. Importantly to note here is that my Hive Tyrant did have the Fight First enhancement, so that and Free Heroic, again, if they're within range of Harvester units. And we had the Swarm Lord. Battle line, 1 unit 10 Hormigons. The rest, Biovore, 2 Exocrines, a Lictor, 3 Psychophages, 3 Pyrovore, or a unit of 3 Pyrovores, a unit of 1 Pyrovore, a Tyrannofex with the Rupture Cannon, and 2x6 Tyrant Guard. Mine all had Scything Talons. I don't need to talk too much more about this list. I love it to death. It is so fun. Assuming point changes don't really mess this up at all, I'll probably bring it to the next GT as well. Originally, I was thinking of being a little bit more memey, but I think the next GT has a golden ticket as a potential, so I might try and go for that one as well. Still love the list. It's not an easy one to just pick up and play. It requires a lot of practice because it is a lot of large footprint units and models, as well as a lot of auras that all need to line up perfectly in order for things to go well. So you need to have a lot of practice in moving your units around, staying within auras, and manipulating your army that way in order to do well at facing your opponent. So that's my list. And Danny Dingle, who is a a subscriber here, I've seen his comments. He's mentioned he took a similar list to mine. So he did mention mine as the inspiration to the list, so appreciate that shout out there. Third place at the CCBB 40k singles. He went 5-1, 72 players. Similar size event there. He played Necrons, Chaos Knights, lost to Eldar, beat Blood Angels, Chaos Space Marines, and AdMech. I can, congrats on beating the Chaos Knights. That's a tough one. I can see the Blood Angels and the Necrons being pretty easy opponents, as well as AdMech being pretty easy opponents. Chaos Space Marine could be a little bit of anything, so don't know how that one went out. And Eldar, tricky, but congrats to that one. His list is a little different. He has a Hive Tyrant Swarm mode, drops the Neuro Tyrant, surprisingly. He's got 10 Hormagaunts and 10 Gargoyles, so that's where some of those points are added in. He's also got a Biovore, 2 Exocrines, a Lictor, only 2 Psychophages, swapped in a Haruspex with the remaining points, a unit of 3 Pyrovores, 1 Pyrovore, Rupture Cannon Tyrannofex, and 2x6 Tyrant Guard. And I think I remember seeing his Tyrant Guard all had Crushing Claws, so not the Scything Talons like mine. Curious, I didn't really enjoy Crushing Claws when I used them. I did like the Scything Talons though, so, you know, to each their own. But that is, again, congratulations. I think I heard that this guy got a golden ticket. Not sure how you get a golden ticket at 3rd place, but if you care to elaborate, I'd love to know. Congratulations to getting that. Congratulations on someone else being able to use the list, not just me. It is good to see that the list is doing well in other people's hands as well. And that's it. We have no list for Unending Swarm. Sadly, part of me wants to try to make an Unending Swarm or a Swarm list viable again, but just not there yet. One thing or a few things to take away here, these lists, almost every list has 1 to 2 Exocrines. Almost every list has 1 to 2 Lictors. Almost every list has 6 Zoanthropes in it, which is surprising, I guess. I was not expecting that. It's really everybody but the Assimilation Swarm list who had Zoanthropes. So that's interesting. Again, I think Assimilation Swarm is a bit wonky compared to the other ones. Just about every list had some form of Hive Tyrant, if not 2. And the Biovore. I don't know if I mentioned Biovore. So there you can see are a couple pieces that are pretty staple these days, as well as Hormagaunts. As I did in my tier ranking, I thought Hormagaunts were Barbed Gargoyles, and I think everybody, almost everybody, had a unit of Hormagaunts. Actually, no, that's a lie. Only about half of us had Hormagaunts, but we almost all had some unit of Gaunt, whether it's Termagant, Gargoyle, or Hormagaunt. Seems like you need one of those just to do secondaries and stuff like that. So that is the video for today. Again, let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy seeing these lists? Kind of a bit of a breakdown of what all of the lists are. Again, I didn't play these lists except for my one, so I can't give a true in-depth discussion about how every list played. But if you at least like seeing the list and see what's doing well, we'll maybe make this a monthly thing. Let me know down in the comments. If you've got a name for this series, also put that down in the comments. If you see one you like, thumb that one up, and we'll go with that for there. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, members, and we'll see you next time here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios.